Watch this! Out of one Volkswagen into another! When I picked up the car, it really had a massive wheel gap, didn't it? I found it the biggest wheel gap that I ever remember on a standard car. And I kind of feel like I need to do something about that. Because clearly with a wheel gap like that, it needs lowering. It's lifted, not lowered. My biggest problem is this wheel gap. I mean, that is factory. These are the standard alloys, standard tires, but there is at least, what's that, 5 inches gap? And the back, I mean, the inset at the back is horrific. Once again, not quite as high a gap as the front. It is time, finally, to fit some lowering springs to my struts. Well, unfortunately, these springs do not fit these struts. I mean, look at this fit. They are nowhere near the snug fit on the top hat compared to the original. So I've just done all of this for nothing. And now I need to send these back to the seller so they can send me the correct springs. I just don't know if I can be bothered. Now you're probably wondering, how am I going to lift this car? Yes, I know it's already lifted. I don't know if the springs and the dampers and the struts at the front are original or not, but I want a little bit more than that. And I've picked up this kit which came from Ukraine. So let me show you what this comprises. Have these front strut spacers which go between the strut and the body. We have new bolts. There's the second front strut spacer. So we've got one for each side. And then for the back we have these spacers which slot into the trailing arm where the damper bolts to. So we've got one of those for each side. And then, so these are the new top mounts, and as you can see they're deeper than the standard ones, so that you can get to the top nut and do the top nut up. So there's one of those for each side. So let's see how easy it is to fit this lift kit and how much more lift it gives us, because you can see where this is going, right? Big tires, big tires, lifted, not lowered. 4 wheels off. Shabby the cabbie is levitating. Now I just need to get to all these bolts and lubricate them up. That's not supposed to be like that. That bolt is virtually off. I put the spanner in there, which is a 17, and I thought to myself, that nut's moving. And I can tell you the penetrating fluid is not that good, but that nut is half off. These are both surprisingly loose. A mechanic must have been in here fairly recently. My gosh, why the hell is that under so much tension? Now the reason why the rear trailing arms were under so much tension was because I had rested the car on the rear axle on top of these stands. Don't do this at home. Just use normal jack stands. I'm just going to lower the car onto those ramps. Time to take off front suspension. I need to take off these two here so I can get the strut out. There we go. Watch out for that. Alright, strut number 2 is out. I just pushed down on the trailing arm, and although the trailing arm has got some kind of spring in it, which I presume is from that bush over there, I'll now have access to the bottom of the strut so I can put the spacer in. So this is the bracket that the spring or strut bolts to at the rear, and this spacer is going to bolt in its place and push that further up. So I'm going to put some copper slip on here before I insert it into that space. Alright, let's give this a bash. Let's see if I can, oh my god. Push that down. Get that in there. Now I just need to get the bolts in there. Okay, that goes through. And then I have the nut, which is now exposed, whereas before it was inside the end of the trailing arm. So I've got some pressure on the underneath of the trailing arm, and I need to knock this down. Okay, so it looks like I've pushed it a couple of millimeters too far, so I'm going to take the pressure off this jack. What I need is a sacrificial bolt, don't I? Oh, wrong way. It is in. Now I just need to do the other side. Yeah, that is one side done. That bolt in the lower, that nut in the lower bolt there is a real pig to get in there. And anyway, it's eventually done. Now to lift the front. And this is the spacer that fits on top of the strut like that. And then that goes in there. And then the deeper top cap fits in like that, and do the bolt up, and you have a lift on the front. And that is what it looks like from the top. You can see the spacer and then the top of the strut there. So this will go down, reach over the thread, and then we'll do up that nut. Gave it a little bit of a lift with the small jack, and it's in. Now the other side. And that is the progress so far. Lifted 30 millimeters, which is just over an inch. So it has the original height plus quite a lot more. Look at the fronts. Quite a lot more. And yes, those are different alloys, because I ran into a bit of a problem. The tires that I bought to fit were too big. That was my mistake. I miscalculated. I got tires that were too big in a rush to get a set of tires off eBay. I saw some, I thought they were the right size. I purchased them. I drove to Wales to pick them up, came to fit them, and lo and behold, they were too big, which is really unfortunate, but you live and learn. When you're trying to do something that nobody else has done, or very few have done and not documented, it's very difficult to know what's going to fit and what isn't. At the moment I've got those wheels, which I picked up locally for dirt cheap, with reasonably good tires. I've got those to run around on until I sort out some new tires. And interestingly, what I also discovered was that the factory wheels are not ET35s, they are ET45, which is another reason why the tires kept fouling the spring perch. Now in the back there, see that spring perch? That spring perch actually overhangs the tire. But it also meant that the bigger tires that I bought wouldn't fit because they hit that spring perch. I have to find tires that are bigger in circumference and diameter, but that still fit underneath that spring perch. These wheels that I purchased are ET35. Now I thought most V-dub wheels were ET35, and these actually fit so much better than the ET45 BBS wheels that came on this car. So I'm going to have to use some wheel spacers or something to get them to sit nicely in the body, because the rears have got to come out. I mean, look at those rears. They are about an inch inside the body, and that is reduced now with the ET35, but it's still way inside the body. So I'm going to need some 25mm spacers at the back there, I think, or 20mm spacers to bring the wheels out a little bit. The fronts with an ET35 are virtually flush with the fender, with the wheel arch, but other than that, pretty happy. Seeing as it runs so nicely, all I'm going to do is get these wheels sorted, and then you can see my vision come to life. Now that the lift is done, there's only one thing left to do, isn't there? Ta-da! Look at that! Woo-hoo-hoo! 215 60 15 off-road tires, 30mm lift. Looking good. Fans on because it's a hot day. So cool. Now I've got to find some dunes or some green lanes. Go and have a bit of fun. It drives really, really well. You can feel it's on taller tires, you can feel it's a little bit lifted, but the drive is not compromised at all. Are the tires noisy? No, not on normal roads. The only time I could hear a little bit of buzzing was when I was on some very smooth tarmac. But let's face it, we don't have a lot of smooth tarmac left in the UK because it's all potholes. And because of that, we need something that's lifted, not lowered. Happy days. You know what to do. Shabby the cabbie is lifted, not lowered. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.